Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Whitney Ward, joined again by Mark Hanrahan at home in an effort to, of course, practice social distancing. So, Mark, how are you holding up?
Hey, good evening, Whitney. All good on my end. Day 4 now of anchoring from my living room. You've probably all kind of become familiar with my living room by now, but things are going well. I'm kind of into a workflow now. My wife hasn't kicked me out yet, so that's a good sign. But yeah, we'll get back to more with me in a little bit.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much. We do have a lot to get to, so we want to get started now with some of the top coronavirus stories at this hour. Spokane County had its biggest jump in Washington unemployment claims. So last week, there were over 33,000 new claims for unemployment benefits in Washington. That's an increase of more than 100,000 new claims from the previous week. All counties statewide experienced a spike in claims. Some of the highest jumps came in Pierce and Snohomish counties. Specific industry sectors that are experiencing the highest percentage of new claims: accommodation and food services, healthcare and social assistance, retail and trade, manufacturing, and multiple other services had over 9,000 new claims in the last week. So there are now 67 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Spokane County. We're fortunate no deaths have been reported here, although several patients we know, at least 7, have been hospitalized. Statewide, Washington is reporting more than 3,200 confirmed cases and 147 deaths. Additionally, there are now 33 positive cases and 1 death in Grant County. And in Idaho, 148 confirmed cases now. Also, Idaho reported its first deaths today. 2 patients from Blaine County. The third is from Canyon County. Again, all 3 people who died over the age of 60 in Idaho. According to Johns Hopkins University of Medicine right now, the U.S. officially has more than 82,000 coronavirus cases and counting. China has nearly 82,000. Italy also trailing behind with nearly 81,000. So just announced moments ago in Idaho, at least in Coeur d'Alene, playground structures in the city limits have been temporarily closed. It's a move, of course, to slow the spread of this virus. Park paths and walkways will remain open, but everyone's encouraged to stay 6 feet away from other people. Today, we know, was the first full day that people in Idaho were ordered to stay at home under that issue that was mandated by Governor Brad Little. So, like the order issued in Washington, Idaho residents asked to stay at home unless it's absolutely necessary if they work in certain industries. We know non-essential businesses must close. So we wanted to know, what does that mean for local law enforcement? KREM 2's Taylor Vito talked with the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office.
Well, with this new stay-at-home order, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office says their goal isn't to write people tickets or throw anyone in jail. They just want to educate people about it. And even Idaho's governor himself has said the same thing about its intentions. Downtown Coeur d'Alene sidewalks, not as bustling as they might usually be. Street parking didn't feel as tight as it normally might, and plenty of stores had special signs showing they were closed. On Wednesday, Governor Brad Little issued a statewide stay-at-home order in an effort to curb coronavirus.
The statewide stay-home order is in effect immediately.
People can still go to grocery stores and doctor's appointments. Like Washington's order, it makes several exceptions for certain types of workers, like healthcare and public safety employees. The state's order details other essential businesses that can stay open, ranging from banks to firearms businesses and care facilities. But non-essential businesses like salons and gyms must close. People can still go outside and exercise, they just have to maintain social distancing. So the big question, what if you don't follow the order?
We're not out there looking to write citations for people or arrest people. That's not the point of this.
The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office says their motto will be education before a citation. Governor Little, too, said the goal of the order isn't to arrest people.
So with the order coming down from the governor and this essentially being law, the sheriff is required to enforce the law. Now, does that mean we're going to go out, arrest people, throw them in jail, give them tickets so they have to go to court? No, not at all. It's, again, education.
So state law technically says anyone who violates an isolation order could be found guilty of a misdemeanor. But again, authorities say they don't plan to do that right out of the gate. On Facebook, Benewah County Sheriff Dave Resser wrote, quote, "We will be doing business as usual during the stay-home order. We will not be looking for essential or non-essential travelers, issuing special IDs for essential workers, or giving fines to non-essential employees. If we receive a complaint, we will respond and take care of it accordingly." So authorities ask you to please use common sense and stay healthy. When it comes to interpreting the governor's order, there will certainly be some gray areas for everyone.
Because this is unprecedented territory. We've never really encountered anything like this before.
The order is effective through April 15th. In North Idaho, Taylor Vito, KREM 2 News.
Earlier today, the Washington governor, Jay Inslee, announced that the infection rate from coronavirus in Washington is slowing down, at least to some degree. He said it's a sign that the restrictions we've put in place here over the last few weeks may be working. However, he also said that Washington still needs to increase its testing measures.
We already cannot meet the demands coming in from around the state, however, for these critical supplies.
Governor Inslee stated they did receive significant shipments of personal protective equipment for healthcare workers from the federal government. Supplies from private vendors and community donations continue to pour in.
The coronavirus has shuttered all kinds of businesses and led to mass layoffs all across the country, and that's led many people with no other option than to file for unemployment. Well, the Department of Labor says nearly 3.3 million people filed for initial unemployment benefits last week. That's up 3 million from the week before and shatters the previous record of 695,000 claims in 1982. The $2 trillion economic stimulus deal negotiated by the White House and lawmakers will give unemployed workers an extra $600 a week through July on top of state benefits.
Keep whatever they've gotten from their employer about the circumstances of their unemployment and print as many pay stubs as they possibly can.
The National Employment Law Center says it usually takes 2 to 3 weeks for claims to be processed and payments made, but with the massive spike in unemployment, there could be delays. Meantime, the U.S. House is expected to pick up where the Senate left off last night. The Senate passed that massive $2 trillion economic relief bill. The House also expected to pass that later this week to deal with the coronavirus pandemic. The Senate passed that bill unanimously last night, and both Democratic and Republican leaders in the House say they expect to pass the measure Friday after limited debate. When the bill becomes law, the money will start flowing quickly. Small business loans, which can convert to grants, can be turned around within 36 hours for some businesses. Unemployment insurance, again, will go up by $600 a week as soon as next week, and the $1,200 cash payments to individuals could be directly deposited within the next 3 weeks. The Federal Reserve Chairman said it's possible the country may already be in a recession, but he believes the recovery will be quick after the coronavirus is under control. If you have any questions about that relief bill or any other questions about the economy right now, just text us the word money to 509-448-2000. Well, we have been hearing a lot lately about personal protective equipment and masks and how there is a lack of that across the country impacting healthcare workers. Well, the directors of several state agencies held a press conference today to address some of those questions as they relate to Washington. KREM 2's Regina On joins us live in the newsroom tonight with more on what they said. Regina?
Hey there, Mark. Yeah, officials with the Department of Health today say they've been able to provide PPE or that personal protective equipment to the top 10 counties in Washington with the highest number of COVID-19 cases. Unfortunately, Spokane County is one of those counties, but they say it's not quite enough. The Department of Health say they're working with the national stockpile of supplies along with an outpouring of donations, but officials say unfortunately whatever is brought in, it's just simply not enough to satisfy the needs in our community. The State Department of Enterprise Services is handling bulk donations, and at this point they're even reaching out to third parties who can sell or supply some of their needs. They say there is an ongoing need for test kits as well as disposable gowns and hand sanitizers right now. They're looking to the national stockpile, as I mentioned, third-party distributors donations right now. Officials say these particular items are on its way. That includes 500 ventilators, 1,200 gowns, 500,000 N95 masks and 130,000 surgical masks. On the way as well, not here yet, but on the way is 2.4 million N95 masks, with another anticipated order of more than 2 million. 300 ventilators and hundreds of thermometers. A lot of numbers there, but you might be wondering how maybe you could help right now. Multicare, for example, saying they're welcoming donations of any unopened PPE supplies, including masks, gloves, and gowns. If you'd like to know more information about this, you can click on this story right now on KREM.com. Live in the newsroom tonight, Regina on KREM 2 News.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a quick break from that coverage. We know today felt a little bit more like spring, although snow could be back in the forecast as early as tomorrow, Tom Sherry is saying. He's joining us live now from home with an update on that. Hi, Tom.
Gosh, here we are. We're doing this social distancing thing. So this is, for me anyway, it's night number one of broadcasting from home. And I miss everybody, to be perfectly honest with you. But this is what we do, right, until we get through this. You've seen the clouds that have rolled in today. We take a quick look at the Doppler radar, and we'll show you again that we've got some showers that are occurring in areas of northeastern Washington right now. Also seeing a little bit of snow falling in some of the higher elevations as you get into northern Idaho. When we take a closer view, you can see, again, those showers really beginning to pop up north of Spokane. Not seeing much in the way of rain here locally, but we are seeing some of those snow showers again as you get over into northern Shoshone County, just say north of a little bit of Kellogg and Wallace. 42 degrees, that's the current temperature. Wind is out of the southwest at south-southwest at 15 miles an hour. And we're really going to look for the wind to pick up Saturday night into Sunday as well. But in the next 24 hours, we'll look for an overnight low of 32, a very weak weather system moving through on Friday. We may see a shower here in Spokane, but I don't think so, not very much. But I do think, folks, over in northern Idaho, you are going to see some showers and probably even some snow showers at times. We'll look, and again, this is for Friday. 32 will be the overnight low. We'll see a daytime high of 49 degrees. And then for the weekend, look for rain to develop late on Saturday into Saturday night, and then I think it's going to be windy and rainy on Sunday. Mild, though, 40 the low, and then a daytime high of 55 degrees. When we come back here in just about another 10 minutes, Whitney, I'll show you what it looks like for the next 7 days. Yeah, your 7-day outlook's coming right up.
Looking forward to that, Tom. Thank you very much. We know the goal of all the closures of schools and businesses everywhere is to slow the spread of the virus. But local agencies that support domestic violence and child abuse victims are worried about the potential consequences it could have on vulnerable populations. KREM 2's Tim Pham looked into that issue to tell us how to find help.
It's safe to say that all of these changes are causing some level of stress for all of us, and victims advocates are also concerned this means there could be more domestic violence, neglect, and child abuse in our community.
Of course, staying at home and social distancing is what we're all supposed to be doing, but there's another concern, and it has nothing to do with the virus.
So anytime we see increased stressors inside of a home environment, we know that there's an increased risk for violence.
Annie Murphy with the Spokane Regional Domestic Violence Coalition says all of the unknowns and added stress from illnesses, finances, to even supply shortages can lead to more violent behavior. Domestic violence and child abuse are unfortunately all too common in Spokane. Some gets reported, but many others never do. During the coronavirus pandemic, some agencies are reporting lower call volumes, which could mean less reporting. But Murphy says that could also be caused by a lot of factors.
But that's not to say if things are quiet now that there's not things brewing and that we won't see, more calls come in or more cases come in.
One of the big concerns involving children is their lack of exposure to trusting adults who, under normal situations, would be the ones to call for help.
So now that we don't have kids inside of that school environment, inside of that safe place, there is concern, especially from our child-serving organizations.
Victims advocates know that things are still happening and want people to reach out if they need help. They're also relying on all of us, the community, to be the eyes and ears to help our neighbors.
Something also really interesting that I learned today is that in Spokane County, you can actually text 911 if calling isn't an option. Reporting in Spokane tonight, I'm Tim Pham, KREM 2 News.
Tim, thank you very much.